Every SAT is going to include a couple of survey questions, and this one in particular involves a lot of the traps that you'd see in lots of places. They're just all happen to be in this one question. So it's a really good learning experience. So let's just go choice by choice here. You've read the thing, hopefully, and you kind of see what's going on. Choice A is definitely a big trap. Now, they do say 36 out of 45 would support this policy or candidate or whatever, and that comes out to 80%. We have our calculator, but you can kind of trust it too. So that seems like, well, yeah, 80% is 80%. But one thing we have to know about surveys is that they are just a quick representative of what's going on in the whole population, but they are not by any means definitive, right? So they only asked 45 people here. If you ask 90, you might still get 80% who support the policy, but maybe it's only 78%, or maybe it's more like 84%. It might be close to 80 because it, could be just a reliable survey, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the survey will exactly match the real results. That's not the point of a survey. It's to kind of gauge what could happen and get us an estimate, but the exactness of it is going to make choices like A always wrong. It's never the case. The survey must match the actual result. But let's look at B, because this seems to get to something that could be a problem. No prediction should be made about the election because the sample size is too small. Well, 45 is not a lot of people, and I don't know how many people are in the town, so it doesn't really seem to me like I have a good sense of whether 45 is big or small. Maybe there's only 100 people in the town. I don't know. But that's unlikely. And this is a good example of a choice that you might be drawn to just naturally because you would say, yes, correctly, let's ask more people. The more people we ask, the more accurate that result is going to be. This is true. However, B is not the answer. Because in a lot of cases on the SAT, what's more important than the sample size is who are we sampling? Who are we asking this question of? Because we can have a high sample size, right? We can ask a lot of people. But if we're asking the wrong people, it doesn't matter whether we have 45 or 4,500, it's the wrong survey. We're asking for a bias, okay? And that's what's going to happen here. This is a biased survey. And the reason is, let's go into the story, right? We want to vote for a candidate who wants to use $500,000 of local taxes for a larger high school music program. Cool, sounds like a great idea. But we can't say whether the whole town will support it if we're only asking parents who are picking up their children from orchestra rehearsal. Obviously, these people have an interest in a bigger music program. Their kids are in it. Their kids will directly benefit. So we're not asking a random sample of the population. We are asking a biased, smaller sample, and that's going to affect our results. And so for this question, that means C is going to be the answer. But I just want to say in general for the SAT, bias is usually way more important than sample size. So if you find yourself ever having to make those decisions, look for bias. It's everywhere. That's the point the SAT is trying to make. Yes, asking more people means a more accurate survey, but if you're asking the wrong people, it doesn't matter how many you ask, your survey will be wrong. So look for bias, and you should be able to handle most of these survey questions, no problem.